Four, go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Pro Line. Jim Feist is here. I'm Dave Koken. And obviously, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'll tell you what, we've got last night's game and then a big trade in the NFL and a little World Series action. And also, we'll have a daily free play coming your way on one of the college football games tonight. So some good stuff. First off, the Chiefs get the win. I don't think anybody's going to say that either team was impressive last night. But the Chiefs were more impressive than a very sloppy Denver team. 5 turnovers. This season is coming to an end pretty quickly for the Broncos.
You know, I don't understand what they're doing. They have a head coach that has no experience at that position. They've got a quarterback coming out of a college where he was semi-impressive last year as a game manager, but this year, without the offensive line, it shows that he really doesn't have the athleticism to withstand it. This is a team that's run by John Elway, a guy that knows what it takes to win, and I'm shocked that they're so poorly managed at this point.
Well, I think they knew they were in a downswing this season, and John Elway still believes Paxton Lynch will be the quarterback of that team down the road. He's had injury problems. He just got back to practice last week. So I would expect the Broncos, I'm just looking at their schedule quickly. They are, they're at Philadelphia on next week, so he's not going to play there. I would say the week after that, which would be November 12th, I'm going to say that the Patriots will be coming to Denver, which actually is not bad because they don't have a real good defense. I'm going to make a prediction that Paxton Lynch is starting in week 10.
Why do they have Brock Osweiler if they're not going to use him?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But backup quarterback, I don't know. To me, he's their number 3 quarterback, and if you have to use the number 3 quarterback, you're not going to win anything anyway. So,
well, it's surprising to me that they're. The way that the Simeon looked last night in the first half, I was shocked they didn't change it around in the second half. But not that I would expect Osweiler to come in and do great things, but it just didn't look like they were even trying to make a difference. There are some really good young first and second year quarterbacks, and maybe even third year. I mean, Prescott, Wentz, Goff. Think of the names right now, but there's a lot of. The quarterback position is starting to look stronger and stronger across the board, and we know that we've lost some veterans, and we're going to lose some more veterans because of their aging and injuries and stuff like that. So it's encouraging to me to see that position is starting to get some stability across the league, which is positive. What is a little upsetting, there's not enough good offensive linemen coming out of college because this offensive line play across the league is pretty bad.
Well, one of those good young quarterbacks changed his draft yesterday. Jimmy Garoppolo is on his way to San Francisco for the rest of this season. It's a big gamble by the 49ers. Not so much on whether Garoppolo can play, because I think he's already shown he can, and I believe he's capable of being a first-string quarterback. But there's no guarantee he'll play there past this year. He is an unrestricted free agent, and that means that there's a very real possibility that his agent might say, look, we don't have to sign here. Let's test the free agent market, in which case the 49ers would have to put the franchise tag on him. And the franchise tag for a quarterback is as expensive as it gets. I think it's like $27 million. So this is a monster gamble by the 49ers. It kind of cracks me up when I'm hearing people say, well, the Patriots didn't get much for him. Actually, they got a ton. Getting a high second-round pick for a guy who has 0% chance of being back in New England next year. 0. There's no possibility he's going to return to the Patriots to back up Tom Brady anymore. He's done it for 4 years. You get a second under for that, that's why New England keeps winning. it actually cracked me up how many people on Twitter, boy, the Patriots, boy, they didn't get much. Are you kidding? It's like, if the Patriots make a move, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar it's the right move. Jim, this is the most successful franchise in the history of the National Football League. And in terms of the playing field being what it is, you can't compare the old Yankees in baseball, the old Celtics in basketball, or the old Canadiens in hockey, because they had built-in advantages, quite frankly, and it wasn't a level playing field. This is in the NFL. I don't think that this is the best franchise in the history of American sports, considering how long they've been serious contenders year after year. And people are going to go on Twitter and say, wow, they don't know what they're doing. People need to shut up because they have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, that's the case in most things about not knowing what they're talking about. But I have a question for you as to why you think it's a big gamble by the 49ers. Garoppolo only makes less than $500,000 this year, and since there's
they're giving up a second-round pick.
Well, I understand that, but it's not every second-round pick makes it in the NFL.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely, yeah, no question about that.
So
it's still going to be a top 35 pick. I think the likelihood is they probably will sign for the 49ers, but. I don't know who his agent is. His agent could do the same thing Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins, he stuck Washington with the franchise tag this year. He didn't sign with them.
Well, okay. Let's take a look at the options. I think they have a free roll here, other than the cost of the second-round pick. They can look at Garoppolo for the next 8 games to see if they like what he looks like under pressure as a starter. That's number one. They already have a relationship with Cousins because of the affiliation with Shanahan and Cousins. If they went after Cousins, it would cost them between 28 and 34 million to clear all that up and get him, which would be which is damn close to the 27 million they'd have to franchise Garoppolo for. So they basically get 8 games to look at Garoppolo. It costs them the second-round pick, but if they don't like what they see, they will go after Cousins. And so I don't think it's that big of a gamble.
You're right. I think you're right. I agree with that.
I mean, New England, and I'm not arguing with this, Belichick and company there, that's the smart deal for them, because if Brady stays in New England, Garoppolo's not going to stay there. He doesn't want to be a backup anymore. So
no, he was.
Yeah, so this is a great deal for New England, providing Brady stays healthy and continues to play.
Right. If Brady gets hurt or retires,
it would be a big mistake for New England if Brady retires. That would be
right.
huge.
But he's not going to retire, so he's going to be there at least one more year. And Garoppolo was not going to come back next year. So, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer on the New England side. And the way you explain it, I think maybe it's kind of a no-brainer on the San Francisco side as well. Good move by John Lynch. Good move by Belichick, as usual. And we'll see what happens. All right. Well, we'll have to wait for that. We don't have to wait long for Game 6. That's tonight. This is interesting to me. The line has risen a little bit with LA favored. I got to tell you, Justin Verlander, it's not even close. He's been by far the best starting pitcher in this series. I mean, you can argue Rich Hill had a good outing, but he wasn't out there long enough for us to find out how good he was going to be. And he's not a guy who normally goes 7 or 8 innings. Verlander's going to be out there until his arm falls off tonight. So if you're thinking bullpen, if Verlander's on, the Dodgers are in real trouble.
Well, Verlander has started 10 games for Houston, and Houston's 10-0 in those games. Now, granted, in the last outing against LA, he gave up 2 hits and 3 earned runs because both those hits were home runs. The ball has been flying out, whether it's a jacked up ball or the hot weather or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. That's the way it is. Verlander is the best pitcher in baseball right now today. Now, that doesn't take anything away from Kershaw or anybody else that's good. It just happens that he is right now the best pitcher in baseball by the way he's performing. If Verlander were to lose this game tonight, I make the Dodgers a huge favorite to win Game 7. Just because, I mean, this is Houston's shot. Can they do it? Okay, that's, somebody wants this pick, they can go to the website and get it. That's jimfeist.com, because I'm 11-2 in my last 13 baseball selections. But this is Houston's shot to do this, because tomorrow night, if they go to Game 7, you're going to get a bit of a hodgepodge of starters for Houston, and we know their bullpen is jacked up. They're not very good. So, you know, this is a game that Houston's got to go all in here. Now, they made a big comeback the other night when they were down 3-0 or 4-0 to Kershaw. It looked like it was over. You could just say, hey, let's move to L.A. But that didn't happen, and that was the most incredible game I've ever seen. I'm actually surprised that, like you are, that the Dodgers are the favorite in this game, because Hill, granted, he's a great pitcher too, but you're not going to get any more than 5 or 6 innings out of this guy. That's been his history, and then you're going to get into the bullpen that Houston has been able to hit. So it's going to be the question. It's going to come down to the manager and who's going to make the fewest mistakes here. Right now, most people are saying that Roberts has been making quite a few mistakes, where Hinch made one big mistake in using Giles in Game 4. I agree with both those statements. So
yep, so do I.
So it's really, if Verlander can go out there and go 8 or 9, and maybe he has to go 9, but you know they do have other guys that can bring in, and they don't have to go to the bullpen. The only guy in the bullpen that's really been okay is Peacock, but they have Keuchel, they have McCullers, and they have Morton. All those guys can give you an inning or two, or a combination of thereof. They're all guys that can strike you out, keep the ball on the ground, keep the ball in the park. They're all capable of that. So, but I don't see the Houston going to their bullpen other than going to Peacock, unless it's a blowout.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, so there's some great stuff out there. And don't forget, we've got great plays up at jimfights.com. I've got a college football early game trifecta. And what that means is these are the plays I played on Sunday night. The lines have moved a little bit, but you can still get decent prices on these games. And I've mentioned this before, they're 100% of the season. I've yet to lose one of these Sunday night plays. And, you know, we're not talking about just 1 or 2 at this point, okay? We're well into the season. So get those 3 games, because I think they're all going to win. One of the plays, I read I'm not going to say what the game is, because you'll be able to figure out what the side is. But I read an article this morning, and the team I'm backing, I absolutely love them. After reading the article I read, absolutely love them. So, yeah, and I don't hype games very much. Okay, for me, kind of just grind along. This is a real good play. So get that game. And Jim, of course, you've got a ton of stuff, which we'll recap in a moment. I just want to give out our daily free play first. And, well, I guess you can watch this between innings of the baseball game. Bowling Green and Kent State, a thoroughly unattractive MAC matchup. Both teams have quarterback issues. They're not going to throw the ball much. You would think there's going to be a ton of running on both teams. Bowling Green lost a couple of offensive linemen, which, you know, when things are going bad, it's like Murphy's Law. Kent State just has no offense, period. 50.5 looks high to me. I think the value here is on the under. I think you might be looking at a game where 40 could be where they end up. So I think Bowling Green, Kent State under is a good play tonight, and that's the daily free play. And Jim, for not much more than free, people can get lined up with some great stuff right now from you at jimfights.com.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this. You know, as a professional player, gambler, sports bettor, I've been doing this for almost 50 years. Damn, that's a long time. But you know, managing the upside is much easier than managing the downside. but it's still difficult. So what I'm trying to say is we go through streaks, hot and cold streaks. And I think what happens is the general public that doesn't understand what we do, Dave, they don't understand that you're not going to win every game. It's simply impossible. The bookmakers are not broke and they're not stupid. And if you're going to win, you're going to win basically by what you said, grinding. There are occasions when big plays come up and you try to let the public know that they are big plays like you have this week. And so managing your swings, when you're losing, you don't press, you don't bet more, you back off a little bit. You bet less games, you put less money on it, and you wait for your vision and the roll of the dice to work a little bit more in your favor. Maybe the bad beats level out. And the other thing is when you start having bad beats, you start making bad selections because the pressure mounts on you. So this is what happens to the general public. It doesn't happen to you and I, Dave, but it does happen to the general public. So what I'm trying to say is stay consistent, grind. Don't go out and say, oh, I'm $100 better and I'm down $600 for the week. I'm going to bet $600, $700, $800 on this game to get even. That is about as dumb as it gets. You can't do that. You're better off just passing the game, pay your bill, and move on to the next week. So my advice and my best bet for the week is stay a grinder and follow the advice of people that know what the hell they're doing, whether it's me or Dave or somebody else on some other site. It doesn't matter to me. But we do have some good plays on the site, jimfeist.com. Dave has great plays there. I have great plays there. And go to the site and check it out. And I also want to say this. Last week, we have a horse handicapper on our site named Hank Goldberg. And he gave us 4 plays at 4 big races at Belmont last week. And, of course, he won every race. He hit every exacta, he hit every winner, he hit the pick 3, he hit the pick 4. And this week is the Breeders' Cup, starting on Friday. Hank is ready. He told me he's done all his homework. He's working on it daily. Today's Tuesday. He's going to be working on it the next couple days. He's waiting for the post positions to be called. So Hank's Sports, Hank's Horses, Dave, myself, and others on the site, jimfeist.com. We have good information. We're not pressing. We don't do that. We're consistent. We're grinders, and we will make you money. Just stick with us.
And that's going to do it for our Tuesday podcast. We'll come back and do it again on Wednesday. For Jim Feist, I'm Dave Cook. And thanks for listening, and we hope you have a great Tuesday night.